Hello, I titled this video Twin Flames 5D to the 3D Selves. And the message is, you are blocking our union. I don't do videos like this. I typically read audiobooks and maybe show vision boards or whatnot, but I have not seen a message like this out there except from the message that I've been receiving kind of intuitively as I watched some of the videos on YouTube, and from a few of the intuitives or the conscious people producing things on YouTube who I recognize as being on the path and truth speakers and seekers, mentioning it in some degree on their own. I said, okay, I'll do this. I'll put this video out there. It's essentially coming out of the spiritual closet for myself, as Gregory Scott, who's an amazing tarot reader on YouTube, says. So coming out of the spiritual closet as a twin flame. I'm not going to put quotes on it, as a twin flame. But it's all the same. It is the same as what I typically do, because what I do and what I'm passionate about is self-development, working on yourself to become whole, to become who you are inside, on the outside, letting that come forward, stepping into your power basically, and then doing what you were meant to do here, which is what I understand the twin flame journey to be, is that same thing but with your counterpart who shares that same blueprint for a mission with you, and whose power together multiplies and amplifies what you're meant to do. Back to the topic of the video. Your 5D selves are trying to tell you that you are blocking the union. It's not anymore a matter of separation. Oh, we're in separation. When's it going to end? When is that going to end? Da, 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 da. In general, as a collective, whether people are twin flames or not, separation is over. Division is over. Being apart from, different than, away from is over. Everything is one. The message is we need to return to oneness. The message is, how are we falling into traps and tricks that are keeping us from unity, consciousness? Unity, consciousness, the awareness of what is within us that is keeping us apart from what we want. Because for a time it served us, because for a time we had lessons to learn in that, and now there's a call for those of us who actually are resonating with the whole, it's time for union, it's time for union. It's time to leave that behind for a reason, because you need to recognize what's within you. And what I've recognized within myself is that as I've come to understand what a twin is and why certain things have been happening in my life, I kind of became consumed, which is a part of the old paradigm, consumption, consumed with gathering information, which is also my nature, as I'm a Sagittarius rising. I love information. I love seeking more and more and collecting information to understand big unsolvable puzzles. It is what it is. But this one is solvable. So this one is, we just basically overcomplicate things. So in that consumption, we're watching so many videos and we're taking in information from so many different sources. And the problem is, and the readers will tell you, this is a general reading. This is a general reading. In general, for all of the billions of beings walking this earth. Now, we are all one, so a lot of them will have messages that resonate within them. Yet, to apply each situation or each reading to each individual path and set of twins or unique beings and souls is going to be a blockage. It's going to cause distortion. So as you're going to recognize that some of the messages just conflict with one another, you're going to see that you become confused, you become uncertain, you start to introduce doubt to everything, and you start to kind of stop moving forward, which The whole thing is to continue to move forward. And that is whether or not you are in union. So the 5D to the 3D want to tell you that you are blocking union because you are focused on an old paradigm, which is separation. We're keeping this separation going by maintaining this state of waiting. Waiting is keeping you from your union. Waiting is keeping you from doing your mission. Because as much as you are a divine counterpart, you are an individual entity, individualized for a reason, for a purpose. And what you bring to the union is likely what you bring to the world, is as well what you bring to the world. And if you're waiting, you're not doing that. Therefore, so much of this consuming of information and videos and sitting and thinking that the information is outside of us, that the answer is outside of us, that our counterpart is outside of us. We carry both divine masculine and feminine energy within us. You're prolonging and delaying what is yours now, today, here. So it's easy to do that when there are tricks and traps out there. So that's what I've kind of been picking up on in the videos that I was watching, is basically two things. Either the messages are conflicting and put me in that state of confusion, or the messages are too formulaic, too similar. Everyone's saying the same thing. And I watched a video just now from another conscious being, a very open soul who's doing beautiful work, Sivan Bomar, and he talked about how we, as these people, these entities, these way showers who are here and know we're here to do something, are not going to be sitting here delivering the same message over and over and over again. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to be moving forward. We're going to be placing, like, I guess you would say, like benchmarks. You're going to be seeing benchmarks, and then we're going to be progressing. You're going to see us moving forward. Like a lot of the people say about who you follow, who you listen to, what is their proof of what they're doing? Where's the proof? Where's the fruit of their labor? And no disrespect to some of the readers, some of them are working for profit and understand that there is a high number of people who are looking for this information. So they're giving that consumer, they're feeding that engine for their profit, which is still part of the old. And then there are some that are trying to serve a purpose here, but they're going to run out of data to give you, because essentially you're going to get it. You're going to see that it's not that hard, that you need to come into unity with yourself. Regardless of who your counterpart is, you need to come into unity with yourself. I'm going to talk about how you're going to do that with the tarot in general, so you can just stop watching all the videos and then just do it. Do the work. Because the messages are always simple, but we complicate them. So the message is in the tarot, and within that you can go into union. So what the other readers are, the actual intuitives, what I hear them saying is the ones that I see who really understand that a twin flame relationship is not simply romantic. It's not just about a love story or a drama or separation or anything, or union. It's about a mission. It's about a joint purpose, the work that you're supposed to be doing together in this lifetime, if you have the fortune of being able to do that, to come together, to find each other, to recognize it, and to be on the same page, or agree to work to get there so that you can do the work. And so those readers are starting to say in their videos, I kind of decided to distance myself from making these twin flame videos. I'm starting to slow down on making these twin flame videos, or I'm starting to not resonate with putting this stuff out there, because they see that there's people that are doing it for dollar signs and don't really understand it, and they see that basically, essentially, that place for them is going to go away. Because as we come into union, and all of us are, we're coming into union and oneness with ourselves, regardless of a counterpart. You're not going to need to watch videos on how to come into union. So essentially, they understand that there's going to be a finality to what they're doing. So they're going to move in a different direction. They're finding other ways that they can be of service, because that's what all of us need to do. So again, that's one way to discern who you're listening to. The people that are continuously giving the same message and just a different title and packaging it as it's something new, that's not it. That's not what we're looking for. And you need to be able to discern through that. The second thing that you're doing to block yourself is within that waiting game, sitting there consuming this information, thinking that the answer is outside of you, so you're consuming that information, and then thinking that the problem is with your counterpart, is the other thing that you're doing to block your own union. What you need to do instead is to follow the guidance, follow the tarot, complete yourself, come into union with yourself. So if you do watch a lot of tarot, then you know that the card in that, from the divine feminine aspect, the cards that represent the female embodiment of completion and wholeness and fullness, so ripe that she is the representation of giving birth to, of producing and bearing ideas, gifts to the world, to the universe, children, all of that. She is the mother aspect. She encompasses all of the other feminines within the deck, which would be those queens, the queens of the different elements. You need to be an empress in order to come into union, both within yourself and within your partnership. The same thing is happening with the mirror of your counterpart. He must encompass all of the kings, in order to become the emperor. Only the emperor and the empress can come into union. The others, if you're empress and king, or page or knight and empress, you're going to miss each other. That's what you'll see in the readings. And whenever they show that the page is coming to the queen, you see that whatever he offers her seems like it's not quite right, it's not quite enough, because it's on a different wavelength. It's the highest that he can give from his perspective, but he's got to finish doing the work. A queen can accept a gift from a page, but she's not going to go into union with a page, because that's not her partner. He's not ready yet. The 5D sees where you're blocking yourself from stepping into the fullness of yourself. Anyways, how to get to that empress? From the tarot, you are embodying the queens that come before her. So it's not in any particular order, but what are the suits? We have the swords, the Queen of Swords, the master of the air elements. So the swords is the one who's able to speak her truth, to deliver her message, and also to use that sword to cut out all things that do not serve her. She cuts them out, and she doesn't think twice about it. She doesn't go back and forth. Her actions are final, and they're exact. They're precise. They're based on wisdom, based on her truth. You master that element. You've got something very powerful when you've mastered that element. Moving on to the Queen of Cups, you also have to master emotions. The cups represent emotions, feelings, love. So the Queen of Cups has learned to show compassion to others and to herself, to love others, to love herself, to be love, and to recognize that she is lovable. She has to know what it is to have a cup that is full and runneth over, the Ace of Cups. She won't accept someone who comes to her with an empty cup, nor would she come in all her fullness to her masculine with an empty cup, asking him to fill her up. No, she comes into union with herself by mastering the elements. So she's got her swords, she's got her cups. The next one, Queen of Wands. Remember, it's no particular order. Don't get caught up on the details. It's just you need to have all of these queens with you to become your empress and stop blocking yourself from that which you want. So the Queen of Wands is the Queen of Fire. So you're passionate, and you know what you want. You know what you want so much so that you're ready to act upon it. When the time is right, you see what needs to be done and you act to do it. You bring things into your life which are going to fuel your fire. And when you see that that fiery side also has a shadow, each of them do, with the Queen of Swords, you need to learn when your words are cutting and you don't use your power to speak your truth to harm others. With the Queen of Cups, you know that you can be emotional, overcome with emotions, but you don't take those emotions and lead with them unwisely and spill your emotions on another person to become a burden to that other person. With the Queen of Fire, when you have anger and when you have something trigger you, you understand that there's a lesson to be learned, and you don't use that fire to destroy. You only use it as a passionate fuel to build and keep you going. And lastly, the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the queen who knows where she is and knows where she wants to be at the same time, but when she gets there, she stays put. She's not in and out, she's not back and forth. And likewise, this is also mirroring with your king. As he masters these king elements and becomes the emperor, he's going to embody all of these things just as well as you. So the Queen of Pentacles, how are you spending your pentacles? What are you investing in? Just like with the YouTube videos, are you investing in a story rather than using your fire to build your empire? Your Queen of Pentacles is steady, she's stable, she knows what she wants, she's working on creating an environment that is conducive to her kingdom, fit for her king, fit for herself. It's not even about king and queen. It's just about, what are you investing in? What are you trying to build that's going to last, that's stable? How do you show up in your environment? How do you treat the things around you? How do you take care of your home? How do you take care of yourself, your vessel, your body? How are you nourishing your spirit in terms of what's going to reflect in the physical? She's a very physical queen. Everything that's around her, that's in the seen realm, is what she's focusing on and making sure is in place and steady for her to give birth to what she's going to give birth to when she becomes the Empress. So you can see how all of them are necessary, and how you aren't in, if you aren't in all of your fullness, then you cannot be that Empress to give birth to what is already there in the 5D. So again, the title of the video, the 5D selves want to tell you that you're already in union. Time is not linear where we come from, where our higher selves and our divine masculine and feminine counterparts in the 5D are not waiting to go into union. They're already there. They're waiting for you to birth that into the physical, and you're not going to do it from a space of immature spirituality. You bring that spirituality and that information down, and they sometimes give it to you through sources and that are external, because they know that's where you're looking for the information. Like say on YouTube, they'll put a nugget in a video, but they're not saying for you to be consumed with that external source. You're supposed to use that wisdom, gain it, take it within, and then go back to building yourself, then building on what you're supposed to birth to the world. Again, when you work to become that Empress, your counterpart's becoming the Emperor, and together, if you should become so lucky, then you are able to work together to do the mission and whatever else comes with that. But the mission comes first. The mission comes first. And any tarot reader or guide that is not telling you that first and foremost is selling you a dream, to where you might be sitting in a situation that's toxic, thinking that a person who's making you feel less than, a person who is triggering you by just making you feel sad or making you feel angry or making you feel like you need to be in some kind of a unhealthy relationship. That's not what this is. That's not what it's about. And again, this isn't the waiting game. Separation is of the old way. We're already in union. We are already in union. Union is here now, but the union is coming from within us.